Like many ranchers, Mayfield rancher Jeff Lord watches for opportunities to improve the public range where his cattle graze. Following the 280,000-acre Pony-Elk Complex wildfires in 2013, Lord partnered with state and federal agencies to assist with range rehabilitation projects in the Danskin Mountains. Wildfires can be tough on the landscape and cause economic hardship. But after the fires die out, there's a chance to replant and start anew. That's a big priority for the Idaho Department of Lands, the BLM, and the Forest Service too. The agency spent more than $6.5 million on rehab and restoration projects following the wildfires. Timely and extensive seeding activities, combined with a string of good winters and spring rains, plus well-managed grazing, are helping rangelands in the Danskin Mountains rebound nicely, officials say. The Lord Ranch is located just north of Mayfield, east of Boise. He runs cattle on private, state, and federal range in the Danskin Mountains.
And it turned out to be a pretty good project. I think everybody's pretty happy with it. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it looks pretty darn good. And if you'd seen it before, and you look at the data that was done in the 60s by the Forest Service when this is Forest Service ground, pretty significant improvement.
I think this area looks fantastic after the fire. It's been 6 years since the Pony Complex fire came through. There's quite a variety of plant species that's come back.
Lord and Lancaster remember how cooked the soil looked after the Pony-Elk Complex fire. Fortunately, the burn severity to soils was rated low to moderate. The Life on the Range crew toured the Danskins with Lord and Lancaster last June as part of an ongoing series on rangeland restoration projects following the Pony and Elk Complex fires. At stop number 1, we looked at drill seeding on state land.
So we saw the opportunity to reseed it. I provided the dozer, the fuel, and the labor. BLM provided rangeland drills. State determined the mix, and NRCS paid for the mix. It was just totally black. There were very few skeletons. I mean, you can see them scattered around a little bit here. This was a very hot, very clean burn. It was really easy to drill.
Lord might say it was easy, but he actually finished drill seeding in the snow as winter was coming on.
Since we had a phenomenal fall, I came out of here in snow after it rained for a week. Kind of slows down the drilling process, but it really helps the growing process. Came back the next spring, wet, cool spring. Seeding did really well. We could see that it was recovering rather rapidly. We were able to come back on here after one growing season. It was perfect conditions.
Since that seeding got established, plant diversity on the site has increased. Lord's cattle have plenty to eat, and wildlife graze on it year-round. Vegetative monitoring shows the site produced 165 pounds of forage per acre before the fires, and now it's producing 800 to 900 pounds per acre, officials said.
It's 2 or 3 times as productive as it ever was before. We've used it every year since then. We come in around the 1st of June, spend 2 to 3 weeks here, and then we move on.
At stop number 2, we looked at a side-by-side area in Long Gulch where the Boise National Forest did an aerial seeding in 1992 following the Foothills fire, and an area where Lord did a drill seeding on state land in 2014. The aerial seeding lay dormant for over 20 years under heavy stands of sagebrush and bitterbrush, but after the Pony fire came through, the aerial seeding took off.
Yeah, I was a big no guy on just no go on aerial seeding. I thought it was a waste of money. And if you can rangeland drill it, I think year after year after year, it's been proven that that's better.
That's how a lifelong farmer and rancher would look at things. But seeing is believing.
Residual seed off all those years of that seeding, it kind of hit a perfect storm and exploded. Where you can see on this side is where I rangeland drilled. Came right off that hill, right down here in the state line. I crowded it right on the line to make sure I got every acre of state ground I could get. I was convinced I was going to have one of those great pictures where this is what I did, this is when I didn't do it. And you can tell from the picture behind me that I lost all my credibility on that.
It's kind of interesting to me, so I'm very happy with how it's come back.
Boise National Forest officials have been monitoring plant composition and range health following the seedings.
This is blue bunch wheatgrass.
We come in here in July when it's hot. It's got good stout, introduced perennial grasses. It's fully mature when we come in here, or right at it, and then we get off of it. It has a chance to recover.
This is where Lord pays attention to best grazing practices to conserve the range.
Dr. Karen Launchbaugh, timing, intensity, duration. So what we do is we graze it at the right time of year. We have duration as appropriate and intensity. The trick there is how many cattle to get on it to get your utilization right until you can get off it in a short time.
In stop number 3, Lord showed us a 20-acre patch of land where he drill seeded native blue bunch wheatgrass and Idaho fescue in the Danskins. He didn't think the seeding would survive.
Right in front of me, you can see the drill row where I planted blue bunch wheatgrass. Seed was donated by BLM. They had to use it, so they gave it to me, and it was blue bunch wheatgrass and Idaho fescue. Straight deal. I'd never ever tried to grow native perennials before. I was kind of, I couldn't get permission to plant anything else, so I thought, well, I'm going to find out if I can grow it. We were just shocked. Tons of recovery here.
Lord says he's still learning new things after watching the various treatments perform well following the Pony Complex fires.
And nobody knows everything.
Ultimately, he's pleased with not only assisting in restoring rangelands in the Danskins, but also creating better habitat for birds and wildlife.
You know, and the habitat's what you really have to look at. Too many times, people on all sides aren't really looking at what's good for the land. They spend too much time worrying about their own personal agenda. And this is kind of an exception to that. This is an example where everybody kind of worked together.